All right, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's check out the sound. Make sure it's working. Let's see. Do we hear it? Yep, we hear it. All right, we're good. 5 by 5. Hey, Robin. Hello, traders. Hello, world. First thing that's catching my eye this morning is the regulators can reconsider capital hike for big banks. Why they wanted to hurt the American banks and support the foreign banks? It's like we have a foreign government in here. It's the strangest thing. Every time you turn around, they're doing something to weaken the American system. I guess I have a philosophy. It's not a very pretty one. No, I'm sorry, not a philosophy, a theory. I have a theory, and I can say this about it and sound polite, but they're trying to make sure America fails so that they don't have evidence of how well capitalism is compared to the command and control economies of socialism and communism and so forth, and dictatorships and fascism. And they need America to fail. So our administration right now does everything it can for it to fail. That's the strangest thing, but it is what it is, and we've only followed the numbers. So in other words, foreign banks will be able to function here on a lower capital base, and American banks, they want to increase the amount of capital that they have, so that it's more expensive to be a domestic bank than a foreign bank. you can't invent these things. That's the amazing thing, is that you can't just come up with these ideas and state them and not have evidence. And we got tons of evidence all the time. Now the regulators are being challenged by the House of Representatives and saying, why are you making domestic banks more expensive to function compared to foreign banks? Taking the same deposits in, the same people. DEI for banks. Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. What a crazy thing. Well, it looks like they're going to be stalled on it for the time being. But it is amazing. Every day they come up with a new idea how to weaken the American system. Capitalism, in other words, get rid of that free market. Gotta have the government telling you what you need to buy. Someone was talking about it this morning, where they're trying to outlaw gas stoves and only electric stoves, and the restaurant industry is going bananas because like they don't use electric stoves in the restaurant industry, and they use gas. And I guess it's way more efficient and cheaper and the whole bit, and cooks differently. You can control the temperature better, and so they're like, why are we doing this? But they're trying to outlaw gas stoves. Outlaw them, actually outlaw them. It's insane, just insane. All right, what we got up on the screen here this morning. There's the dollar index. You can see on the beta. This morning, it's trying to turn up a little bit there. Let's see, move this up. There it is. See, just a little bit, nothing major. And you can see here, the daily is trying to turn up too at the same time. So, what else we got? The weekly, went into the weekly sell last week. Right there. There's the weekly sell last week. And we go over to the other platform. Let's go over to that other platform. I don't think we have an 8:30 number today that has any meaning, so we're all right. I don't think. See. Let's go to the dollar index first, and then I'm going to go check the stock market to see if it made any dark moves. Quick jumps. You can see here. There's a strength right there. Closed in the weekly sell right there. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry about that, traders. Right there. There we are. Yeah, you can see it closed in the weekly sell right there. I can put that line in now. And you can see it's trying to lift up. What is that? That's yet last night. So the futures is reflecting last night out of nowhere. Okay. Let's fix that. There we are. You see that same situation is trying to lift up there. There we are. Okay, so there it is right there. You can see the weekly sell, and it's trying to climb into a daily buy. I don't know if we're going to get past this line in here or what they're going to do at this point. It seems to me consistently now that the markets are just, just treading water, we used to refer to it as. In other words, it's just standing still, trying to bounce a little bit here. The Federal Reserve has opened up enormous amounts of money to come into the market over the last 6 months. Basically, back in October they started it, and that's why the markets bottomed in October. They've really liquefied the financial markets. There's a lot of cash flowing through it. This is one of the last things they have is to keep the stock market up. If they can keep the stock market up, which is not that hard to do for the Federal Reserve, then at least people won't feel too much pain. They feel it when they go into the supermarket to buy food or put fuel in their machines or buy clothing or go to restaurants or buy furniture. They see the inflation rate. It's really jumped up. But, they can't influence that, but they can influence the stock market, and they're doing a fine job at it, keeping it firm and steady. And, it's constantly moving, finding ways to go up more than down. Let's put it up on the screen here. There it is right there. And you can see it's been climbing and climbing and climbing since the October free money came in. Yep. The Federal Reserve loosened up the purse strings, let money out through liquidity from support from the U.S. Treasury system. So there's plenty of cash floating around. And ever since October, you can see the stock market has gone, was it 4,400 basically, something like that, 4,300 on the S&P 500 to 5,300, going up 1,000 points. So people, to a great extent, can't complain. I mean, they got, their retirement funds are looking fine. They're not doing as great as you would think, but they're doing well, and that's all that counts. And every time they even try to dip down, it finds a way to climb back up again. And that's the S&P 500 there. All right, back to the currencies. Back to the future. Let's take a look at the euro. There it is right there. The euro is kind of stalled now for the last couple of days up in here. It's been in that buy since that spot there. And let's put that signal. It literally started off the week trying to climb into a buy. It was very impressive. It was a very strong move. I guess there was another fantasy, I guess, that they were going to lower rates again. Now they seem to have, I don't know, they've drifted away from it at this point. It looks like they don't plan on lowering rates until after the election, supposedly. But then these people will do anything they want. They don't follow the law. So, It won't matter if they lower the rates, and they're not going to. I don't believe they're going to lower the rates in July, and then the next chance they have is, I guess, like the first week of September they could lower rates again, and then after that it's November 1st. I think it's November 1st. Yeah. I really don't. It'd be hard to believe. It really does tell us that money is just kind of hesitating to decide when it comes to a lot of these products. The currencies, the currency pairs, and then then from there, you have the let's see, was it the stock market? The most manipulated of the, or let's say influenced. It's the most influenced of the financial systems in the world. Because it's much smaller than the others, and so they can get away with lending money, to funds overnight for free, and then what happens? They hold positions and they don't let them go. That type of thing. DEI. All right. So, that is the euro. Let's take a look at cable. There's cable. Still doing the same thing, still lifting up. And the weekly, let's put that weekly in. That also jumped like in the beginning of the week. Last week. It was very strong. And there it is right there. You see going on with the second week. In many ways, the cable seems to be much more stronger. The European Union still has its issues about, you have 5 or 6 countries now over there that are really trying to press for free markets. And, then you have the old main ones kind of hesitant about free markets, and they like to keep that socialist thing going on. So it's a mixed bunch. The idea was the European Union was going to be like the United States of Europe in this sense, and it would open the doorway, and it has. You can see the Western, or let's put it this way, the old Eastern Bloc, who lived under communism a long, long time, has said, been there, done that. Whereas in the Germany and the France and so forth, they we've seen Sweden and Norway and Italy go to free market systems, pushing hard for free market systems. Spain would be another good one. We'd love to see this, what they call the southern states in Europe, to get into more of a free market system. But in the end result is that the bigger ones, are really holding things back. And so when you have Germany and France holding things back, it makes it tough, for the continent to clean itself up. But that's probably why we see the cable stronger and the euro weaker. All right. And then from there, we go over to the great inflation fighters. And that is the Swiss. 2 days in a buy again there. We went into the sell on Friday. Yep, went into that sell on Friday. And it's already trying to lift back up again. There it is. And so there it is there, and we can put the daily in there too. Let's do that. And there it is there. You got that daily buy going on. And you got it climbing back into the weekly buy. It's small, but it just shows you the responsibility of the Swiss government doing a fine job, working the inflation front, trying to slow it down, trying to, make it easier for their citizens to, have a stable currency, that type of thing. And let's see, let's go to the yen now. Yen trying to lift back up today. Let's do that. I'm just going to put it down here. We can always erase it tomorrow since no one's getting the chart. And you can see the weekly, the fast had broken down last week. We talked about that. And then look at it now. You see the fast is just zipping up, meeting the slow at the top of the manifold right there. That non-linear time manifold. Fascinating. Watching it move on the ether, these products. All right. And then from there, let's see. What else can we say about the yen? Anything else? You know what? Let's have some fun. Let's go take a look at the beta on the Nikkei. See what the Nikkei did. There it is right there. And Nikkei was up for the day. It popped up, notice that, and it closed on its lows, but still higher from Friday. You can see there the daily is just on the edge, and the weekly. Ooh, look at the weekly. They're trying to put that thing into the buy. Ooh, 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 woof. And that's the Nikkei, the 250. All right. Now from there, we slide over to, we go to the metals complex. And we go to, oh no, we go to the great experiment. That's it. Turkish lira. There it is. And a buy for 5 days. And showing some weakness this morning. But it's nice that it stays inside this big envelope. Stability. That's the only thing we can wish for. Is some form of stability. We're not exactly expecting to see the Turkish lira fall from 35 to 15 or something like that. Those days seem to be gone, where they can manipulate it and come up with new concepts that will, basically trick them. It really, it really doesn't have that. We just don't have that. I don't think they have that energy anymore. For years, when you come from 1 to 36, and you get stopped out in the 20s and the 30s and the, teens at times, and then they come out with like free puts. They offered a couple years ago to everybody free puts. You buy the currency, you get a free put. They didn't back that, so it fell apart. But you have these massive moves. So whoever knew ahead of time, our math showed it ahead of time, and so that meant insiders were playing off of it. So now all we can really hope for is to see this product stay in this range and let them try to grow out of the problems they're in, through new policies. That's why we call it the Great Experiment. All right. From there, let's see. I'm going to pop one of these zinc pills. I seem to have a little runny nose going on here. All right, took down a zinc pill, and I think I might even take a Ibuprofen now. I think I have some other things like that'll stop. There they are. Take one of these. We go from the Great Experiment over to the South African Rand. There it is. You see, it's popped up a little bit today, but it has been on that nice downwardly spiral. I'm a little surprised we're seeing that strength, but it seems to be trapped in a triangle. It doesn't seem like it has the ability to, fall apart. Let's put it that way. In other words, it's doing a pretty good job right now gaining against the dollar. When this product, the South African Rand goes down, it's gaining against the dollar. And that's a pretty good thing there. And when it gains against the dollar, it energizes the metals market to go up against the dollar. So we'll put up gold on there now. We can throw gold up on the beta real quick and just be able to look back and forth a little bit. Oh, look at that. Did it topping out and falling down. Interesting. All right. That's the beta. Let me just show you the beta, what the beta is doing. I mean, this morning it was running up. I guess they've calmed down a little bit there. Look at that. It's still up for the day, but they made a new high at 2,450. So the high now is, where's that at? Yeah. So the high was $2,454.20, and now we're back down $34 from that. That's interesting. They've backed them off, and the daily is right on the edge. It's picking it up, and you can see the weekly showing some weakness there too from last week. That's interesting. It's trying to start the week off going into a sell, so we'll see there. Let's go over and look at gold itself up on the other platform. There it is right there. Yeah, same thing. You can see that spike. And you can see that's why the South African Rand is moving up. And actually now we have gold down for the day in the teens. So we're trading at, where is that at now? Right now, last trade is at $2,417. And so the high was $54.20. And we're at $17 now, so that's $37 down from the high. And you can see there, it's starting to feel the pressure there. Basically, we've talked about this last week too. The central bank does not want strong metals market, so that could be them putting pressure on it for the day. That would make sense. A strong metals market interferes with the stock market, because when you have a strong metals market, usually stocks will find ways to go down. Let's show you the intraday and show you probably the same situation. Yeah, so there is you can see here. There it is. See, they took it up last night, hung up there. Here's basically this is the London Open. This is the Frankfurt Open area here. They started opening the markets up, kind of sold down a little bit for about an hour and a half, then took it up again, and now they're really breaking down. And this is the S&P 500, and so they're really showing that weakness there, and you can see the intraday is pressing down again. And so that they need that stock market to stay firm. So They may allow it to back off a little bit for a day or two, and then they'll step up again and start buying again, and the Fed will do what it needs to do to keep that thing firm and comfortable. All right, let's see now. From there, let's see. Let's go to. And there's the South African rand again, and see how it's popping like that? Let's widen it out a little bit for you. Yeah, that line is hiding the close. See it right there. See, we're heading for the highs of the day. There. Now, it's been locked. The South African rand seems to be parked in this, was that 30s teens area, I guess you could say, for the last 3 days, 4 days, something like that, or underneath here for the last 5, 6 days. And no doubt we go back to gold. You can see it's been running up. But today they're trying to, now they got gold up to, was it 218, up $1. So, but it's still off that, it's a $36 off its highs of the day. All right. From there, where do we go from there? Let's go over to silver. See how silver's looking. There's silver. You see that same situation, a little pressure on it. A lot of pressure on it. Because the high today was 32.75 and our last trade was 31.40, so it's down $1.35. Down $1.35 on the silver. Must have been some type of short squeeze this morning. They roared in and bought, and now they're selling. Trap the longs. And then from there we go to copper. Copper, same thing. Matter of fact, it's very close. It's at, 0.0013. Right on the edge there. And that's been one of the bigger rallies in the metals complex between them and the... well, I guess, without a doubt, it was the copper. There was a massive move. And then, and from there, we had platinum go from... was that about up almost $200. So we had platinum. Let's see what platinum did this morning. It's a battle between platinum and copper, basically. There it is. So copper got up. Platinum got up over 1,100. So it went $100 is 10%, and $200 is like 20%. So it made a run over 20 some odd percent, about 24%, whereas copper picked up almost like 31%. So it's been a real horse race between the two. And you can see this morning, they're trying to flirt with the weekly sell. All right, that is pretty much it. Just want to look at copper again. Let's widen it out a little bit. Yeah, nice big spike up, and right now it's at zero line. Oh, -3, pressing down too. It's a lot of pressure on the products. All right, from the copper we go over to the energy sector. There's crude oil. Crude oil spiked up a little bit. I wouldn't even call it a spike, just pushed up. But the high was $79.97, and right now we're trading almost $1 lower at 79.0203. So they've taken a chunk out of that. At the same time, we're flirting with the weekly, but we're trying to play with the daily sell. We got a green and a red at the moment, so it's still in that buy, and it's flirting with the weekly. It's a neutral position at this point. See how it looks on the beta, and there it is on the beta, doing that same thing, rolling over, You see that there with a green dot, and at the same time you can see the daily is still holding up by a hair of its chinny chin, and at the same time the weekly is holding down and not lifting as much. So that's going to be the horse race we have today. I would imagine crude oils, I would think, would hang sideways. The summer season's coming on. There's not much of an interest to push prices up. Mr. Biden is taking oil out of the National Reserve so that he can keep prices stable. Stable is nice. They haven't dropped too much, just a little bit, but they're definitely pumped for the upside at this point. All right, and from there, let's see. Let's take a look at Brent. There's Brent, and the Brent is doing the same thing. It lifted up. It's got a green dot going on. It's in the second day of daily buy, and you can see here, it's been in a weekly sell for 4 weeks now, coming down from the was at the 90 area down to the 82 or 81 area. It got down to right there. $81.06. Wow. $9 drop. There's again. And then from there we go over to Nat Gas. Right there. Nat Gas has just been rocketing up. Just up, up, and away. It's been in a weekly buy now for 4 weeks. It's heading for a 5th week as we speak. And that pressure is on the upside. Here alone it looks like 2, 4, 6, 8 days in a buy now. So it's very, very firm. For this time of the year, we're seeing natural gas be much more firm than normal. Usually the summer months are relatively quiet, but they seem to be pushing it up pretty well. All right. From there, we go over to the energy company down in Spain, and it's still flirting with the $25 area. We can show you that like that. It's been hanging out up there and not really willing to do anything more than not even break down to the 24.50. You see it there. It's been in the sell. I guess it's 4 days now. This is the 4th day in a sell, but it's in a weekly buy, so you can't play the short side of it. It's telling you that the action is more on the upside on a week-to-week basis or longer term. And then when we go and look at the product, you can see that upwardly trend that's been going on. All right, so that is the gold, the metals, silver, copper, and platinum. That's the energies. That's Brent, West Texas Intermediate. That's natural gas in the United States, and the natural gas company down in Spain, where we can get a flavor of what's going on. And obviously, that's great move from the 160 area to the, where's it at now? Let's take a look at the nat gas one more time. I think it's picked up a whole $1. Natural gas right there. Yeah, picked up a whole $1 from the 160 area, from there to 260. It's a fantastic move. Fantastic move. All right. That's the answer to all that. And you can see even, let's see, what else can we see? I guess what we'll do is, since there's no questions, we can go drift around and take a look at some different products, look at different stocks. We can go and look at the stock indices to start off with. We saw in Nikkei was up for the day. Let's see what the Kospi is doing. There's the Kospi. And the Kospi was down for the day, I think. No, actually it was up. Because you can see here, we'll just show you the last 5 days there. You see. And so Friday, it was down. And today it's up. But we're still in the daily sells. And the weekly is trying to climb into the weekly buy. And that's probably because of, we'll see. After tonight, it'll show us tomorrow what the number looks like on the weekly, but it looks like it's going to close in the buy. And so, finally it's turned around with all that daily buying going from the 25.50 area to 27.50. It's finally pushing it into the buy, where it went into the sell on April 1st, up here in the 27.75 area. It's driven back up to it. From there, we'll go over to Taiwan and look at the Taipei index. Taipei. What is that at? There it is. Taipei. Now, that was also just on the edge of being up, but we got a red dot, and you can see it's pushing itself into the sell. Now, you can see we've been in a weekly buy on this product for 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th week. We'll see how they start the week off tomorrow. And then from there, we head over to the Philippines. And there's the Philippines. It's trying to climb up again. Daily buy for 5 days now, and it also is trying to close. It's closing out last week in a buy. That's what it's doing there. So we're going into a buy from last week. So this will be like the second week in it. From there, we jump across to the Shanghai. Let's see where the Shanghai is at the moment. There it is right there. Shanghai's been in a daily buy for a couple days. It's been, they're doing this bailout of the real estate market over there. So they're putting $45 billion into it. They're not too comfortable. That's not a lot of money for the amount of problems they have, but at least they're starting to do something. If they would have only thrown in $500 million, 6 months ago, that would have helped it out enormously. It just shows you how command and control economies are not exactly the most functional things when it comes to spending money. And that is the Shanghai. Looks like it closed out at another high there. Nice. So we're really starting to get some life into it even more now. And then from there we go over to the Hang Seng in Hong Kong, right there, and it's nowhere near as strong overnight, but it's still in a buy for a long while, and you can see the weekly buy. So it's been climbing even better, coming from the 16,000 to the almost 20,000 at this point. 19,000. What's the high there now? The high is 19,706. Not bad, from 16,000. It's been a heck of a move. And then we go over to the Singapore Straits Times. Right there. It's up firm also, closing in the daily buy. And it's been in that weekly buy now 5 full weeks. This is starting a 6th week. And from there we'll go over to Australia. Take a look at, we're into the Indian Ocean now, and we're going to take a look at There's the All Ordinaries Index closed up for the day in a buy for 3 solid days. You can see 2 full weeks. Is it 2 full weeks? Let's just take a look at that right there. Yep, 2 full weeks. Going on a 3rd week as we speak. And then let's take a look at the Nifty 50 out of India, the other side of the Indian Ocean. There it is right there. There's the Nifty 50. You can see it closed last week in that buy also. And you can see here daily buys, no problem. You can see here it's been climbing again. And kind of trapped more in a range, but you're seeing that strength over there. Let's see. And that completes the Asia, India, Indian Ocean. I could like to say the Pacific and the Indian Ocean. If anybody would like to see another index, let me know. And from there we will go to Europa. Let's take a look at the DAX in Germany. There's DAX. It's up for the day. The algorithm is backing off, and it's in a weekly buy for 3 full weeks now, heading for a 4th. Then we go over to the CAC 40 in Paris. Same situation. It's up for the day, but still in daily sells. And 3 full weeks in a buy. And we'll see how the 4th week now starts off in a buy and see what they do. From there, we go to the FTSE out of London. There's the FTSE. You can see there it's showing a little weakness in it. A couple days. Friday was down a little bit. Today was up just a little bit, but nothing major. It's 2 days in a sell. And at the same time, you can see we are 10 full weeks in a buy. From there, we go over here to the States and take a look at it. Where's the S&P 500? Right there. There's the S&P 500. It's trying to hold up. And you can see it's flirting with the daily sell as we speak. And it's going on a 3rd week in a buy there. Interesting how, compared to our other platform, the beta picked it up. The stock market was, where's it at? Trying to get into that buy. Or got into that buy 2 full weeks ago. This is the 3rd week now. So since May 5th. Yep, since May 5th, this thing's been in a buy. Now, from there, we'll take a look at the NASDAQ, or the Tech 100, looking the same exact way. And been in a weekly buy for 2 full weeks, starting its 3rd week. And you can see today it's flirting with the daily sell. It's flirting. Remember, the markets are just getting going over here in the States. Then we go to the grand lady of them all, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's been in a weekly buy for 3 full weeks, going on a 4th. So that's been in a buy since the 29th of April, basically down in here. 28th of April, right around here, when it closed in a weekly buy that week. And so that we've done 3 full weeks and starting a 4th week. You can see that we had a massive run. Was that 15 days? It's at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 days in a buy. 12 days. Interesting. All right, and then from there, we go over to the Russell, the weakest of the stock indices over here in the States, but it also showed a lot of strength, and it's 2 full weeks in a buy, starting a 3rd week as we speak now. Let's see. So that does all the stock indices across the planet that we pay attention to. But if anybody would like to see something else, let us know, and we'll put it into the system. Let's look at the Bitcoin. There's Bitcoin's been in a buy for, is that 7 days now? 6 days. 6 days in a daily buy. And it's 2 full weeks now in a weekly buy, going on a 3rd week as we start off the week. So now this is the Bitcoin itself compared to the ETF. Not far from all-time highs. They took it down from the all-time highs down into the mid 50s, low 50s. I guess let's emphasize that like that, right there. So took it down to 56,500 from 72,071. You can actually just in your head, if you want to try to wrap your head around it better, just think of it as $72 a share, and fell all the way down to $56 a share, and now is trading at $64. There's many a time we see stocks, big stocks do the same identical thing. It's just like it's not that odd to see very expensive products swing like that. It's a liquidity situation. It's it's when you're in a free market system, you get volatility. That's why they have excuse me, low beta, and they have high beta. When it comes to indices themselves. I remember when they created the New York Stock Exchange High Beta Index, trying to capture that volatile sector. All right. What else can we talk about here? Let's take a look at VIX since we're here. Look at that. VIX has been in a daily sell forever and ever and ever. All the way back into the middle of April when it did that spike up at 21.36. Now we are over 50% lower. And at the same time, we've been in a weekly sell now since April 22nd. Up in here. Right in this area here, it went into the weekly sell. So the pressure, oh, you can't see it. Let me just straighten that out again. So it went into the weekly sell this week right here, the close of that week. And so you can see here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 full weeks in a sell right there. And, you can see here, we'll emphasize it a little bit for you. See all sells. And we're starting a 5th week as we speak. There it is. All right. What else we got brewing here? We can take a look at the stock indices again. Let's go over to the. Where's that mouse at? Right there. All right, and there it is right there. You can see the stock index on the intraday chart itself right there. Let's do this one. It might give us a better view. You see it's moving down towards the lows. Took out these lows here. It's hanging on them, trying to turn it into a resistance. You can see the manifolds really widened out, and now it's the time manifold itself is starting to tighten up. Usually that's the beginning of another move. And so what else we got brewing here? I guess we could possibly see the 5,320 area. I'm only talking about 30 or 40, not even 20 points down, 10 points down, that type of thing. That is it right there. All right. What else do we got here? All right, that's the. What is it? That's the. Oh, wrong product right there. Let's go like that. That was the VIX we were looking at, and that's the intraday. So they're backing it off a little bit, but again, they want to hold this market up. So I would doubt we see anything below the, the 5,300 area. I would think that would be a big support right at that point. You're not talking about big numbers here now. You're only talking 20 points, and this thing can go up 10 points or down 10 points and no problem whatsoever. All right. Let's see. And there's the beta of the VIX. What else can we look at over here on the VIX? We did look at the Russell. I'm almost dead sure of it. Yeah. That's the Russell. All right. So let's take a look at the SPY, the ETF itself. Going on it's done 2 weeks in a buy, and we're flirting now going on a 3rd week. when that opens up, it'll reflect, it'll reflect the 19th right there. Or at least it'll show us the 17th, that's for sure. So in another, basically another 9 minutes, it'll start to reflect. And same thing with the Qs. And I put the diamonds on here too. This is the ETFs, not the futures contracts. Right there, there's 2 good full weeks in the buys. And what else we got brewing there? I guess that's about it. You can take a look at a couple of the, the things that are catching my eye of late. I found it very fascinating how the grain market took off, about a week ago. There's soybeans. And, it took off at the end of April. Went from the $1,140 a bushel, $11.40 a bushel, to $12.40 a bushel in a matter of 5 days, and it's hesitated a little bit, back and filled, and is moving back up. That's the July soybeans. Let's see. Do we have corn on here? There was corn right there. There's July corn. July corn did that same thing. It took off at the end of April going into May, just as we got that big solar flare. And you can see here it's in a weekly buy for 5 full weeks, going on a 6th week now. But we've been in a daily sell now for the last 4 days. The grains are really trying to tell us some odd stories there. Let's see. I want to put the wheat in there. Let's put the wheat in there too. We don't have wheat, so let's do that. We'll add the wheat. July wheat. Let's see, right there. Right there. There we are. And add. ZW equals F. See how that works. Save. Now let's refresh it. Let's see what the wheat looks like. There we are. You see wheat's been in a buy. Which is interesting, is basically 9 out of the last 10 weeks. And you can see 5 weeks in a row going on a 6th week. And you can see the daily has been in a sell for 3 days there. They're putting some pressure on it. But it went up and touched the $7 area. When that flare came out, they were really concerned here. Moved up from the $6 area to the $7 area. They really lifted a lot of these grains and a lot of staples, I guess you could say, corn and soybeans and wheat. It was an interesting thing. It did it a day before the flare. I find that very fascinating. Someone has a really good view of the sun. Matter of fact, they could probably see the flares developing on the west side of the sun. And they speculated that it was going to be very powerful, and it sure was. It lifted up the grains over $1. All right, traders. I guess what we have to do now is come up with a title. Come up with some type of title. Let's see. What should we call it today? There we are. We'll have to come up with a title. Anybody have an opinion? Let's go right there. What did we talk about today? We talked about all the stock indices. We saw currencies stalling out, metals spiking and topping. Why don't we just talk about the metals? I think that'd be cool. Spike, top, and metals. I like that. It could last for 3 days or so, 4 days. I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. So I think that's what we'll do is we'll call it spike, Let's see, gold spike top. How's that? That makes sense to me. Gold spike short term top. There we are. And that, to me, is what's going on there. Let's see, title. There we are. Bingo, bango, bongo. All right, traders. We will catch you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. This is Doc from North America saying happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day. We will catch you Tuesday as the S&Ps make another low.